they will pay, let's say, $1 for their blouse, but they also will pay $1 to have it fixed. So they decided they wanted to take the sewing classes, do their own clothing. The woman on the right, she always says she's wider than taller. She's a funny woman that says, I have never been able to button down my blouse, because if I button down, then the arms are over the corner. She doesn't fit in any of the clothes she was able to afford. So these two blouses, they made them for Mother's Day for themselves. It's a gift for themselves. And the skirts, how much do you think she spent on her skirt, the one with the pink blouse, in fabric and labor? 7 pesos. 7 pesos is like 30 cents or 20 cents, because they buy from the new stuff. For the first time in their life, they're using new clothes. They buy it from the fabric shops, the ones that are like the leftovers pieces. And she's so tiny that she can make herself a skirt with 7 pesos. Now she fixes clothes from home. She's selling a lot of clothes. She's earning an income. And the most interesting thing about them, and I've become very humble listening to them. I've learned so much from these groups. One of them said, the best part here is that I can take the class, go home, turn off the beans, and come back into the class. That's why you need the classes to come into the community, instead of having, the technical schools by local government that open from 9 to 5. Well, you're busy. You have to take it on Saturdays. No, Saturdays are closed. So the groups are empty by the week. Why? Because you don't listen to the needs of the community. A group of women sharing more than sewing classes. This is Mother's Day. We're speaking here about community organizing for Mother's Day. Mother's Day in Mexico is as huge as Virgin of Guadalupe and Christmas Day. Mother's Day is the day in Mexico. So I don't know, because I wasn't there, how they organize themselves to buy what they ate that day. They didn't ask anyone to send them stuff. They didn't ask us to grant money for their party of Diez de Mayo, Mother's Day. They decided themselves who was going to bring what. I don't know if they pitched money to buy the stuff, but they wanted to have a celebration. But they also had the class. They finished their sewing first, and then came the celebration, which is very unusual in Mexico. In Mexico, usually, Mother's Day, no work. Everyone is partying, not them. Technical assistance. I love the face of Odilia. Odilia is the short woman. After learning to sew, they share health and education issues. Many years ago, one of these groups, we asked them, how many of you have ever had a pap smear? None. Why? Because their husbands wouldn't let them. So we brought the Papa Nicolau organization to talk to them. They invited the husbands. The organization told the husbands that it was going to be a nurse that was going to perform the test. That was 10 years ago. At this moment, you ask the groups, how many of you have had your pap smear? All of them. It has changed. In 10 years, the community of men has changed because of these groups, because of the support of this group. This is not a health group to have a pap smear. But after you talk for 3 hours a week, you talk about intimate things, about domestic violence, etc. This is, as you see, the church, who let us use the room as a community center. Next, please. Women's Jails Bakery. This is a project where I cannot put the pictures because of security reasons. Many programs are run into the women's jail, again, designed behind a desk. We asked the director of the women's jail. She just happened to be my high school teacher. That's why I was able to get into her office and ask her, please ask the women what they want. They wanted to learn how to bake bread, to bake goods, etc. Why? Because in Mexican jails, you have to pay for everything. So it will be a sustainable program. They will bake, and the inmates will buy the baked goods. So that's what they did, and they're also learning skills for life, because when you leave jail, you're going to have a record. 5 years have to pass by in order for you to have a job. So how are you going to keep being the breadwinner if you cannot have a job because you have a record? So you will end up back in jail. So you have to learn something in the meantime that you are in jail. 85% of the inmates in this jail in our community are women. And 90% of the inmates make a different life after jail versus 90% of men. Most of the men will commit a crime. We were talking about that last night in our dinner. While women, when you talk to them, they say, you know what, I just want this to be over and never come back. But I need to know to learn how to earn an income afterwards. I love this picture because this old coffee pot, it's how the Alzheimer's group started. This family, the grandmother developed a strong case of Alzheimer at 60. Her daughter gets killed by the husband, and she goes down the way really in a couple of months. Something that should have taken years, just in a couple of months, she was lost into the Alzheimer disease. So she went into the government agency in Mexico called DIF, which is the family agency, and they told them, well, go to FESAC. FESAC is our community foundation. And we said, well, what do you need? We cannot have a big building with, what do you need? And she said, the family said, we need how to learn to take care of them. And those of you who were in the presentation yesterday about taking care of the elderly, that's a global issue. It's not only a few families in the world. We are going to live longer. Hopefully, all of us are going to be healthy, but many of us are not going to be healthy. And someone is going to have to take care of your legal issues, your health issues, your party training issues, etc. The community around the world has to learn how to take care of the elderly with the Alzheimer's disease. It's right around the corner. So this group of families started gathering. Uh, at the beginning, there was only one family. Then in the next meeting, 11. At this moment, twice a year, 150 families, nursing students, medical students, and the community itself come to the training. We bring people from other parts of the country to train the families. Yesterday, the presentation was great because they were telling us how to take care of the caregiver, so the caregiver can take care of the patient. 99% of the families in our community does not have the funding to have 3 shifts at home taking care of the Alzheimer patient. It has to be the family who has to learn how to take care of them. This is how it all started. This is their house. This is how we gathered the first time. Those are the first members of the community. The one on the right, she arrived with a clip of the newspaper. I read about this group. Can I join it? Her husband just passed away, and she's now training wives on how to handle the boy who used to be your husband. This is the Alzheimer organization in the United States that provides us with information in Spanish for the groups. This is the university where we held the meetings, so we don't have to pay for room and coffee break, etc. And those are all the families and the young people from the community who want to be trained. And we are very focused into creating jobs. So we tell the young people coming to the training, the people who are in nursing school, you know what, there's going to be a lot of work for you here. Those of you who decide to treat children, perfectly fine. But those of you who are looking for a job right away after graduation, there is a lot of need in the community for people trained to take care of the Alzheimer's patients. This is one of our other favorite groups. I'm not supposed to have favorites, but this is one of my favorite groups. The Down syndrome organization is, again, a group of parents with Down syndrome children, poor Down syndrome families. So they are able to do a lot of things when they go to school. Down syndrome children were kept away in our country for many years. You wouldn't say, I have a Down syndrome sister or brother. It was like a family secret. They will send them away to some village or somewhere. So people say, oh, we now have many more Down syndrome children. No, we now see them. The families embrace them, and so does the community. So in this case, yes, someone else took the decision. It was the mothers who said, you know what, they love to cook. So what we did was to enroll the culinary school. Remember, they have to do their 480 hours of social service. They have to do it. They cannot escape from it. So what do we tell? Who of you are willing to work with special needs children? Not everyone has the gift. And it's not like it's mandatory to work with them. There are many other places where you can work. They loved it. This is the first class when they were teaching them. The little girl on the right is now 15, and when they move into this is at their organization, but when they go into the culinary school, they have to wear the uniform. And the little girl said there, I don't like your uniform. So one of the students told her, then you can't come. And she said, okay. So she now goes into the culinary school, wears all the white uniform. This is the real world. if she gets burned or something, it will be a huge issue for the school. So that's the real world. You have to use it, and she came to terms with it, and she said, "Okay, I don't like your uniform, but I'm gonna wear it." It's an amazing group. Aldo, the one on the right, he's 20 now. He has his own ID, his own debit card. He works with his parents at a small store, and he goes to Applebee's. Every time he goes to the restaurant, he asks the manager, "Can I do my own milkshake?" Of course, you can imagine the public, the consumers love to watch him do milkshakes. Starbucks just opened in our community, and they have just hired two of the deaf grown-up children from the deaf organization. Now we as consumers should learn how to ask for coffee for them. They are learning to talk to us, well, we now should also learn. So this is what a grassroots community looks like. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, yeah, for the wonderful session. Yeah. Uh, from the audience, if anybody wants to ask question to ma'am regarding the session. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.